Silas knew every grain of sand, every ripple of the tide. He'd lived on Hobe Sound for 70 years. The salt air was his breath. The rhythmic crash of waves was his heartbeat. Hobe Sound was more than his home. It was a part of him. Silas was its guardian, watching over its shores from the old lighthouse. Its beacon was a comforting presence, a guiding light for seafarers. Silas had seen countless sunrises paint the sky with hues of gold and crimson. He had weathered countless storms that lashed the coast with fury. But there was something different about this particular storm. An unsettling energy thrummed in the air, a low hum that vibrated in his bones. The sky was a canvas of bruised purple and ominous grey, heavier than usual. Even the seagulls had sought refuge, their cries silenced by the approaching tempest. The wind howled, a mournful siren song. It whipped the palm trees into a frenzy. The ocean, normally a gentle giant, churned and roared. Waves crashed against the shore with thunderous booms, each one higher than the last. Silas felt it in his gut. This storm was different. This storm was angry. He climbed the winding stairs of the lighthouse, his old bones protesting with each step. The air crackled with static. The wind tore at his clothes as he reached the lantern room. Silas peered through the thick glass, his weathered face etched with concern. The storm was upon them, unleashing its fury on Hobe Sound. The rain lashed down in sheets, blurring his vision. Silas struggled to see through the onslaught. Then a flicker. A small white sail tossed about like a toy boat in a bathtub. It was a sailboat caught in the storm's grip. Silas narrowed his eyes, focusing on the distant speck. The sailboat was being dragged further out to sea, helpless against the wind and waves. He knew every sandbar, every current, every treacherous twist of the coastline, and he knew that sailboat didn't stand a chance unless someone intervened. He rushed down the lighthouse stairs, his heart pounding in his chest. Silas grabbed his heavy raincoat and hat, each movement fueled by a lifetime of battling the elements. He wouldn't stand by and watch another soul lost to the sea. Not while he had a breath left in his body. He had to alert the Coast Guard, but the storm was interfering with the radio signals. Time was running out. Silas had to act fast. He made a decision. He would get the attention of nearby fishermen. They were his only hope. Silas raced towards his truck, fighting against the wind that threatened to rip him off his feet. He drove along the coastal road, his headlights cutting through the blinding rain. He finally reached the small inlet where the fishing boats were docked. The fishermen were preparing to ride out the storm, their faces grim. Silas pointed towards the raging sea, his voice barely audible above the storm's roar. "Sailboat, caught in the storm. Need help," he yelled. The fishermen, hardened by years at sea, instantly understood the urgency. They followed Silas back to the lighthouse, their powerful boats cutting through the churning waves. The rescue was perilous. The storm raged on, testing the limits of their courage and skill. But they pushed forward, guided by Silas's knowledge of the sea and their own unwavering determination. After what felt like an eternity, they reached the sailboat. Two figures clung to the mast, battered and exhausted. The fishermen pulled them aboard their boat, their faces etched with relief. Back on shore, wrapped in warm blankets, the rescued sailors thanked Silas, their eyes filled with gratitude. He simply nodded, his heart full. As the storm subsided and the sun broke through the clouds, Silas stood on the beach. He watched the fishermen return to their families, the rescued sailors receiving medical attention. The storm had been fierce, but Hobe Sound had endured, and so had he. Silas looked out at the vast expanse of the ocean, its surface now shimmering like 1,000 diamonds. Hobe Sound was a force to be reckoned with, both beautiful and dangerous. But it was home, and he, Silas, the old lighthouse keeper, would continue to watch over it, a silent guardian against the relentless tide.